Recording in progress.
Hey, Paul. Hi, Vivek.
Hi, Pam.
How are you, Pam? Beck, what do you say?
How's Sarah?
Good. Yeah, she's moving. She's moving okay, but still in a fair amount of pain. You know, everything kind of, all your movements kind of start or are connected to your core, and they got to cut through muscle to get to the hernia area. So,
Yeah,
yeah, not easy.
I've had a couple of hernia repairs.
Oh,
I've had a couple of hernia repairs.
yeah, yeah. So hers was done robotically. So, you know, rather than having the big incision, you know, it's three small ones. Um,
Nice.
so, yeah. Yeah, I had my knee replaced robotically as well. It's really kind of amazing that a computer can, I guess it makes more sense that they would be more precise than doing it by hand, but what do you say, Ray?
Hey guys.
All right.
Hi, Ray.
Hey,
Hi,
Rich.
Ray. Hi, Paul.
Right.
Hey, Rich.
Hey, Pam.
Yeah, hi, Rich.
Hey, Vivek. Looks like the band is back together.
Yeah. It's been so long.
I know.
I forgot what you all look like. Thankfully,
Yeah.
this video.
Uh, so I brought a coin to help make the decision.
I thought you were the scientist.
I am. It's
Is that how it
statistical
works?
reliability. I understand the probabilities of heads and tails.
Okay.
Just an FYI, Bob is on his way.
Thank you.
Is David coming in also?
Yes, I believe he's on his way as well.
Okay.
He does know it's remote.
And Erica, I may ask you or someone to pull up the agenda just so we can follow the appropriate posted plan. I'm gonna struggle to do that on my iPad. Hey, Bob.
Hi, sorry.
Um,
I might be switching devices. I'm on my phone. I prefer to be on my computer, but
Okay. We're still waiting for Dave, so
okay.
but you can adjust as needed.
Hey, this is just like how we started all our subcommittee meetings. About 10 minutes of IT. Can't get it. Can't do that. Can't do that.
You'd think after 6 years of Zoom, we'd all have it figured out, but
I think we all get 30 seconds with years beyond 20. So that you know, that updates to the half an hour it takes us to log in.
Is the magic words? Excuse me.
these are the magic words. Yes, I just want to wait till Dave joins before we jump in.
Dave's in.
Okay, great. Gang's all here. All right, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 12:04. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and thank you again for the many hours spent last night going through our interview process and preparing for that. The way that today is going to go is we're going to start with the Citizens Advisory Board representation. So Vivek is going to share kind of a consolidated summary of the CAB's feedback. Then I'm going to just ask if we have any input from the community, anybody who might have emailed in, just to get any feedback there. Then we will go around to each of the board members for them to kind of share some very short thoughts and their score for each of the candidates. And then we will do a, depending on how that discussion goes, we will do an initial vote for a primary candidate from each of the board members, and then go from there. We can talk after that point if we believe we will need to go into executive to continue any contract discussions. I don't believe we have anything significant, but Rich, I will look to you to tell us if we need to have any further discussion there.
Okay, are you asking me now or?
Well, if you have an answer now, sure, but I'll probably check again just in case anything comes up with the discussion that might lend itself to having an executive session.
Okay, yeah, we can touch base at the end, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so first, Vivek, can you share your?
Just,
Oh, yeah, Bob, go ahead.
I thought we talked last night. I thought we were, that's a little bit different. So you would like us to share the score or not? We said last night was just more of a.
So, okay, so if you'd really prefer to just, share your feedback and your selected primary candidate, that is fine. The scores were just intended for each of us to kind of help ourselves with, thinking through the feedback. So we certainly don't need to share it if you'd prefer not to.
Yeah, I'm not sure my score being like with a point apart from each other really is the.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do feedback first, CAB feedback in general, and then we'll do short verbal summary of feedback and preferred candidate from each of the board members.
Okay, so should I start with CAB feedback?
Yes, please.
Okay, so thanks for including us in the interview process. All the CAB members scored Jason higher than Mary. So I looked at the cumulative scores. And so just want at least mention that Mary is an excellent communicator and would be very good in dealing with customers. And a lot of her prior experience has been in marketing and communications roles in some of her, I mean, the last job was obviously as the general manager, but a lot of her work was in marketing and communications. Jason's domain knowledge and experience in power operations and distribution was a clear difference for our members. We also felt that dealing with and managing a tiny MLP is very different from RMLD. We can see Jason being in such a role for many years. He seems committed to the power sector and has training, both his MS in electrical and computer engineering and the experience in the sector. He's familiar with RMLD from a CAB perspective and is likely to make more informed decisions than Mary on how RMLD should operate based on his work experience and knowledge of the power sector and the CAB experience. So I'm not sharing any of the numbers, but that's just I think that's what it boils down to. And in my personal scores, I clearly scored her at a higher than Jason for stakeholder engagement because she's a very good communicator. She's very good at that.
Okay, Thank you, Vivek, and to the cab for your input. Appreciate that. Any questions from anybody for Vivek on any of that feedback? Okay.
I guess, did you guys, and I struggle with of course the competing things of experience operationally and then communication, but stakeholder engagement and being able to do demand side management, you see any difference in the two candidates on how they might affect that, or do you see them both effective in that area?
So Ray, I think there's two parts to your question as I read it. There's the customer engagement part of it, and from a communication point, and then there's the technical side of how to do it. And I think when it comes to the communication, I think all of us can learn from Mary on how well she communicates, and maybe how we use our web system. That's clearly a way to do things differently. But when it comes to the technical aspects, I think she would need to lean on others for guidance there.
Any other questions for Vivek? Okay. Thank you, Vivek. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So just checking, Erica, any input come through via email? I did not see any come direct to the board email, but anything that you've seen?
Nothing that I've seen.
Okay, got it. Okay, so we're gonna go kind of in order of seniority, although I am going to go last. So I'm gonna start with the least senior up to the most senior, and then I will go last. So I'm going to start with Rich, if you can just share a summary, and then share your, if you feel ready, please share your preferred candidate.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Pam. So I appreciated Mary a lot. I agree with Vivek. Her communication skills were excellent. I thought that she would do a great job of maintaining a solid relationship with the board. And generating a degree of transparency. I also liked her stories about cost savings and other creative solutions. She seemed to have a mind for kind of making some of the deals that would, perhaps help mitigate cost escalations. That being said, I felt like Jason's overall body of work, his passion for the job, his knowledge of the way a power system works, sort of edged out those other skills for the other candidate. I sensed in Jason, a good degree, a healthy degree of teachability and eagerness to learn. I felt like he would be a great candidate to grow along with RMLD for a long time, I hope. And so though it was close in my scoring, I put Jason ahead of Mary.
Thanks, Rich. Any questions for Rich on his feedback? Okay. Ray.
Yeah, I think we're all sharing the same story. Two really good candidates with very different skill sets. And I come to solid conclusions about which one I pick, but depending on the moment, I come up with a different answer each time. Some of Jason's experience is exactly what we are going through at RMLD. The whole IT infrastructure he's going through or has been through at Danvers, and we need to go through that. I think the comment about, yes, there's demand side management, and then there's how do you do demand side management, and I think the comment that he would be able to implement that is as opposed to as a knowledgeable person, as opposed to relying on others. But damn, Mary's good. And being able to communicate the future and stakeholder management is very powerful. And that where she lacks, I think, in her operational experience, she'll just lean on the team. I spoke with a lineman this morning. They were out on my street doing wires at poles, and I said, do you guys need anyone to tell you what to do? He says, no, we've got that down. I mean, we can handle that. We just need someone to communicate. So damn. So I'm going to flip the coin 3 times and see what happens. But it's tough. If I were to make a choice in this round, I'll go Mary. But it wouldn't take much to convince me to go the other way.
Okay. Thank you, Ray. Any questions for Ray? I appreciate you doing field research. Excellent. Bob.
Oh, thank you, Pam. I just want to say, I wish we could take them both, right? I wish we had 2 openings. And
I know. Can we have both?
Both.
Let's collect DNA and grow a joint GM. I mean, seriously.
We're going to marry the 2 of them together, right? That's what will happen. But, I again, excellent. We can't go wrong with either candidate. But I'm going to reiterate somewhat what Vivek said and what Ray said. We're transitioning through some very large scale projects. Jason has experience with those large scale projects ongoing. We're doing the substation. We're doing, and Mary was doing AMI as well. We're going to do AMI here. We're going to transition systems. Jason's going through the system stuff. The feedback from the employees about understanding the business and having that technical background. I think that was a point that resonated with myself. And so when it comes down to making a choice where we can't go wrong with either candidate, I am going to put my vote by Jason, and it would be, if we're doing a point scale, it is 0.001 between the 2, but I'm going to put my name to Jason.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. Any questions for Bob? All right, Dave, you're up.
Thanks all. Yeah, so with respect to Jason, echoing Vivek and Bob, deep, relevant utility experience, demonstrated leadership, demonstrated knowledge, understanding of the big strategic moves, understanding of the utility, all solid. I also actually feel that Jason is a very good communicator. I think his stakeholder engagement in Danvers, his staff engagement speaks to that. And frankly, so do his excellent communications in the various meetings that I've seen him be in. When Jason, he thinks before he speaks, which is a good thing to do. And when he pipes in, he's always making sense, and I respect what he's saying, and it makes sense, and he's a good leader, and he is very much my choice for the next general manager of RMLD. And this is nothing on Mary. We do have 2 great candidates, but Jason Small is my choice.
Any questions for Dave? Okay, so echo everything that everyone said. Obviously, 2 very different but excellent candidates. I'll just maybe, since I know everybody kind of focused on strengths, I'll just think about and share my thoughts on kind of areas that we would have to watch out for as the board if we chose one or the other, just to think about it kind of from the flip side. I think, as we look at Mary's experience, certainly strong in the leadership and kind of strategic direction, the kind of crisis management, the operational management, the The technical expertise, obviously, that would be something the organization would need to support her with, as she clearly recognizes. And so that's an area where, I think, combination of the organization as well as members of the board and CAB who have that expertise would need to lean in there if we were to go with Mary. I think from Jason's perspective, obviously, some very strong operational experience. I think he had great examples of managing a variety of different challenges from a leadership perspective, both kind of the customer, outage challenges and, the unforeseeable situations, but also things like, the culture and bringing the team together there. I think where he will, where we might want to lean in is thinking about things like this long-term strategy, kind of setting the direction for the organization, really, helping to define kind of what that strategic vision is and the plan to work towards that. I think, there certainly that's an area that we could, work closely with him on if we proceeded with Jason. So in terms of my overall vote, again, very difficult decision. But I think the organization would be really well suited with Jason at the helm. I think, from his, detailed, his passion for the industry itself, his experience there, some of the stories he shared about just rolling up his sleeves at 3 a.m. and jumping in and being that, really that servant leader. I think, it resonated really well with me. So I share your sentiment. It would be wonderful if we had the budget to and the resources to have to. But I think I would put my support behind Jason. So at the moment, amongst the Board of Commissioners, we have 4 who are placing Jason as the front runner and 1 who's placing Mary. With all the discussion, any change in folks' perspective or additional questions or topics folks want to discuss a little bit more?
Yeah, being the odd person out here, I'm really not an odd person out. I mean, I agree with all your comments about Jason. So if we were to do a vote, consider it 5-0. I mean, it's he's solid. No real critique against him. It was just a tough call.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any further discussion, or would we be ready to make a motion to nominate a candidate?
And just a point of process that the actual motion is to move to enter negotiations with, or pending which. I'm just wondering what the wording of that motion is. Maybe it's on the agenda and I just.
It looks like Erica's pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
So currently the suggested motion is move that the RMLD Board of Commissioners appoint blank as General Manager of Reading Municipal Light Department, subject to the successful completion of employment contract negotiations and required contingencies.
I mean, I thought we had a discussion about this before, that really we should be leading with move that the RMLD Board of Commissioners enter into employment contract negotiations with the intention of then making the appointment, because the appointment doesn't occur until the contract is the offer, the successful contract is the hire. So
but if we do not say appoint, then do we have to come back together after negotiations to do another motion? I would think the answer would be yes.
Well, I think the motion could say move the RMLD Board of Commissioners enter contract negotiations with blank for General Manager of Reading Municipal Light Department, the successful conclusion of which would lead to the appointment of this individual to that position.
So I think the motion essentially says the same thing. It's just a different order. We're saying we're moving to a point subject to the successful.
No, I know.
Completion.
It just leads with it. It leads with that we've done something that we can't do until we do the negotiations, and it can lead to a public understanding of something is a done deal when it isn't. It isn't yet. That's all. But
yes, I mean, and just in terms of, I see your point on the public visibility. our plan is not to do any sort of formal public communication about this. I understand this is a public meeting, obviously.
Yeah,
people can
it's a
watch it.
public, right, it's a
Yep,
public meeting.
But to be
Right.
clear, we're not going to be announcing that we are finalized an appointment until after a negotiation was complete. So, again, the motion is appoint subject to the successful completion. If we do not successfully complete contract negotiations, then we would need to come back and the appointment is not valid.
Okay, would anybody object if simply rearranging this sentence? Move the RMLD Board of Commissioners, comma, subject to the successful completion of employment contract negotiations and required contingencies, comma, appoint. And just move that phrase ahead.
Yeah,
I mean, we put the cart where it belongs,
I understand both points of view, and I wasn't here for Greg's hiring, but we lost leverage when we said we appointed the general manager and then we were entered contract negotiations, and the leverage was, you've already appointed me, and so sign my contract.
Kind of.
Instead of,
is that true? Is that how it went?
I mean, we don't want to go back and.
Yeah, I
I
just want to make sure.
I'm not trying to relive
Let's flop the
negotiations.
phrase, and it's the exact same wording.
I don't have a
But
problem with what I'm fine with, Dave, what you proposed.
Yeah, that's all. We're
moving
just
that
changing the
in.
ordering of the same exact words. So
Yeah.
move, and if you're okay with it, I will make the motion as with that movement now. If you're okay with it.
Fine with me. Does anybody else have a question or need discussion on that?
We are probably going to have to meet again to accept the contract regardless. So we
Sure.
don't save a meeting by saying we're simply first entering into contract negotiation. We have to come back to a point. There's going to be negotiations, then there's a contract, and then we'll have to accept the contract. So there's a contract acceptance piece regardless. So I don't see us saving a meeting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just trying to be a little bit putting the ordering in the correct order of what we're going to now do.
Yeah, no, I'll just add my 2 cents for what it's worth. I think I agree with Dave and Ray. I think if you change the order, you're not signaling, you're going into it with a more powerful position for the discussion.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm fine with reordering from my perspective.
Okay. Then if you're okay, Madam Chair, if I could, are you okay with me to make the motion now?
Sure.
Okay. Move that the RMLD Board of Commissioners, comma, subject to the successful completion of employment contract negotiations and required contingencies, comma, appoint Jason Small as General Manager of Reading Municipal Light Department.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor? I think we have to do a roll call vote.
Ray Porter, aye.
Dave Talbot, aye.
Rich Swanson, aye.
Bob Coulter, aye.
And Pam Daskalakis, aye. Okay, motion carries 5-0. Looking forward to taking the next step. Thank you again to everyone who contributed. I know it was a lot of work. Thank you especially to our 2 stellar candidates. We really, really thank you for your interest and your participation here.
Agreed.
Excellent. We don't have anything on scheduling, it looks like. Were there any open scheduling questions, Erica? No? Okay.
I don't believe so. I'll circle back on that. I think we just need to get a couple on the books for actual negotiations.
Okay. Sounds good. Rich, do we have anything that requires us to move to executive session regarding the contract?
No, I don't think so. In my opinion, no. There's a couple, actually only one very small line edit to the contract, which I think we can just take care of.
Okay. And so the next step would be to communicate that contract to Jason.
And how does that happen? Do you do that? Do you send that contract to him?
Great question. So I am assuming that I do on behalf of board, but maybe somebody who was involved in the last process can confirm.
I-
Go ahead, Bob.
I would have Susan communicate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good
Agreed.
form. It's good form to have Susan, HR.
Okay. Perfect. So Rich, would you please forward the final version from the attorney over to Susan when it's ready?
Yes, I will.
Excellent.
Is there a need in this meeting to say that that the contract that's being forwarded represents the formal offer of the RMLD Board of Commissioners?
No, I think the contract itself means that.
It does. Okay.
My assumption also is that when Susan sends that over, that's what the communication that she sends will say.
I mean, I would say you should send it, Pam. I mean, you're the chair, we're the board, you know, we're the governing body, and you know, we're the ones making the offer.
But we're not the employer, right? So that's why I mentioned Susan. I believe that.
Yeah, I
is
think
the-
Susan would
what that
probably
is.
have some of the contingency information that needs to
Fair.
be processed, et cetera. So I think she is best positioned
From
to.
the administrative point of view. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's other testing and things that she needs to schedule. There's other administrative stuff that has to
Right,
happen. So
right.
she
That's
would
okay.
manage that.
Okay,
While
so
you
we're
guys
clear
are-
on next steps. Oh, sorry,
While you
Paul, go
folks-
ahead.
While you folks are all together, you want to throw some dates together for negotiations? I'm thinking a couple of days ahead, it could save a lot of emails back and forth if we have, a handful of dates that we could then, run by.
We can still see your screen, Erica, if you want to
Thank
turn
you.
that off.
Stop sharing the button.
So you do have a November 6th meeting that you requested last night. I don't know. I don't believe anyone can meet next week.
Well, can't we meet next week? I mean, we've made this vote. We should move, and just suggesting that we find time and not wait 2 weeks.
I thought we had something on the books for Monday, did we not? As a for this purpose? Is that not true?
I was not asked to schedule anything for this purpose on Monday. However, there is a workshop for Eastern Gateway on Monday. That might be what you're thinking of.
Yeah, that was what you were thinking.
But I mean, a Zoom meeting Monday or Tuesday, and because he'll get the contract
You
today.
cannot do Monday because it's Friday. Well, actually, you could. You could do Monday.
Okay.
Right
How
now.
about
No.
No, you
about
can't.
Tuesday?
Tuesday?
Tuesday
Sorry,
at 5?
Tuesday. You could do.
Tuesday at 5? That would be the
Tuesday's
first
good.
one.
I think that's good. Let me just check, please.
What's Tuesday's date? I don't have a calendar in
The
front of me.
28th,
Okay, yep. Thank
5
you.
o'clock on the 28th is fine.
Okay.
Okay, and the agenda for that's going to be purpose 2 negotiations.
Or no negotiation. So obviously we would have to see if Jason is also available.
Right.
Is
So
that something you'd like me to do, or is someone else going to do that?
Bob, go ahead.
Question?
maybe even book Tuesday, Wednesday, same time.
Yeah.
Right? Just
Put them. Yeah, good idea. Put them
Just in
both
case.
on the books.
need
if
them,
we can.
use them. Don't need them.
Like exactly. And I think speed is of the essence, right? If there's any issues, then we know soon, and we do whatever we have to do, right? So.
So 10:28, 10:29, 5 p.m. Purpose number 2, and then just please confirm who will be asking Jason.
Can we? Sorry.
I would say, Susan, make it part of the package and communication as to what.
I agree. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and make it all part of that same communication.
Do you want to try one more day or keep it to 2?
I can't do the 30th, so.
Yeah, I can't do the 30th either. One consideration is if for some reason Jason can't make it at 5, we could push it back into the evening.
Yeah, I don't know what his hours are like at Danvers. Your meetings usually start at 6, correct?
Why don't we just do a wide bracket, right? Do
Yep.
5 5 to 8, right? We can shift the time.
Yeah,
as-
yeah, yeah.
as
Yep.
necessary.
Yeah, let's
5 to 8 p.m.
let's say preference is 5 o'clock, just so we can all plan our lives. And then if he comes back and says, nope, can't do 5, needs to be 6, then we'll adjust from there.
And Susan is gonna send him this final offer. Rich, you're gonna send Susan the final offer that she's gonna put out?
Correct. Yeah, I'll do that momentarily.
Okay, and Bob, I see your hand is up.
We'll need regular and executive, right? Open and go into an executive. It's a contract negotiation.
Correct. So it will be, yep, it will be open, enter under purpose number 2, and then your executive will be negotiating. And then did we decide, do you want to add a 3rd day even for the following week? And I can just post for all the days now.
Probably a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Hopefully, yeah, and hopefully the communication is that we really like to have, have this done next week and know if there's any reason, if we can.
Okay, so
But you could wait. I mean, you could wait to schedule that following week meeting until next week, right? I mean, to actually post it, because we won't know if we're going to need it till we know, which won't be till Wednesday, right? So-
Let's err on the side of caution. Let's
Sure.
do the same thing, book the 3rd and the 4th, right? And then that way it's out, it's there. You need them, the time slots are there. You can always cancel it.
Sure. So yeah, for our calendars, but maybe they don't need to be actually posted at this point. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You have to post next Tuesday, Wednesday. You don't have to actually post the following ones until we know we need them. But if they're on our calendars, we know we can.
We can
Yeah,
also post,
I-
send, just cancel, and then remove.
Right.
But at least if we post, we're set.
Yeah, just
I need it on my calendar.
Sure.
But I need that slot there, so I know it's potentially a time.
yeah, right. I mean, you could do that. You could do that no matter what. But yeah, I got you.
Okay, so Susan will ask for 4 dates, 2 next week, 2 the following week. We'll start with 5 p.m. We'll find out if there's needs to be flexibility with that time. Not all 4 of them may work for him, so we may end up with just 2 or 3 dates. So, but whatever he is able to confirm works, we'll post. We'll ask for an invite to come to our RMLD and RMLD email addresses and put it all on our calendars.
And then one more, in person, assuming, or remote?
Both.
Both, perfect.
Yeah, both options might be
And
needed.
then would you like me to send these dates to Susan to send to Jason, or Rich, do you want to send those when you send her the contract?
Why don't you send the dates, Erica, if you don't mind?
And it's probably clear to everybody but me, but I heard 28 and 29. I didn't hear 2 more dates.
I have 28, 29, 11/3, 11/4.
Yeah.
11/4 is election day, not that that would be limiting, but it is.
So 11/5.
No,
Well,
let's just keep 11/4, please.
All right, it's fine. Just point of order, that's all.
Yeah.
Great, and then reminder, you also have an 11/6 meeting. So if needed, you always could probably tack something onto that as well.
Okay. Any other questions or loose ends that we need to tie up here? All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Onward.
Thank you, Pam.
Onward.
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Everybody.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Weekend.
Well, we have to move to adjourn. don't
Motion
we?
to.
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
I'll move to adjourn this meeting.
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Reporter, aye.
How would I?
Wonson.
And Daskalak is aye.
Thanks
Good
all.
weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank
Aye,
you.
aye.
See ya.